if I get another day, another year, another 20 years, whatever it is, I'm really happy with whatever I get.
Podcast with Alan Keane, number 24, action.
She's the best.
Yes.
Some people have just producers. I have the best producer in the world. Yeah. That's my wife, Sari Smith. I'm finding it hard to call her that. Mate, Alan Keane, how are you, Alan?
Very good, thank you. I'm amazed where I am now.
I appreciate you coming in for a sauna session with Shay. Now,
my pleasure.
Can you do the honorary ladling of the first ladle of water on the rocks, mate? Remember, right hand, not left. He's an experienced. He knows what he's doing. Mate, thank you so much for coming and spending a bit of time with us in the sauna for a chat. And just a bit about who Alan Keane is.
Yep.
I've met you on the mountain a few times. You're a serial hiker.
Yep.
You're a PT instructor. You're a horticulturalist. You've done. There's many feathers in the cap to Alan Keane.
Yes.
Yeah. What am I missing, mate? What else has Alan been up to?
Important. Telstra, I suppose. Telecom. I was doing that for almost 20 years, technical, and then in the sales I came back and then was in the first sales crew that Telstra ever had.
Okay.
So claim to fame. Worked my way all the way up to the corporate and government.
You don't seem the corporate type, mate.
I had a $700 suit and a gold pen, and I walked around the city.
I just probably would never have known that Alan Keane, though.
Yeah.
That's was that in a different life?
Kind of, very different.
$700 suit.
Yeah, and you had to keep up with your clients.
Yep.
I also did 4 years prior to that in Roma.
Yep.
And you had to dress differently. You had to stand further away from the cowcockies, and you talked a lot slower to the cowcockies.
You didn't have a ponytail, did you?
Never. That would never. No, it's never going to happen.
$700 suit, Gucci shoes, and all the above. Yeah.
Back then, this is a long time ago. So ponytails on guys wouldn't have gone over all that well.
Yeah. No.
You would have got beat up in Queen Street.
Well, mate, the reason I wanted to have a chat with you in the sauna is because when I first met you, you were running rings around everyone on the side of a mountain. You were going 300 metres ahead, coming back 150 metres, running ahead. And I said to my then just partner Sari, what the hell is this dude on? And she said he's just on. It's just life and air and sunlight. Yeah. But one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you is about, like, you're now 67 years of age. Mm-hmm. It's never stopped you, mate. You've never had this story in your head that I'm too old to do anything. You've always just, whatever you've gone at a bull at a gate 100 miles an hour, and you're putting 21-year-olds to shame, mate. Now, where does that come from? I've have to really think hard about it. It's kind of just an instinct. I don't know any different. I don't know any better. That's the only way I can really. I love being outside. I don't like being inside. When I get outside, actually, a really good example of this is when I'm driving out to the scenic rim. As I get further away from the city, and I didn't even notice this until I was more mindful of it. As soon as I get the view of Mount Barney, I would sigh. Calm.
I'd actually go.
Wow.
And I'm conscious of that now. Immediately, it just that this big city congestion and hustle and bustle just goes behind, and I just love being out there.
I think I'm from the same tree, mate, same branch, because I think when I'm in the city, I kind of feel a bit constricted, a bit tight. The shoulders tense up. The air pollution, and then when you start to head away from it, there is this ease, and you started just to, relax and sink into it. Yeah. But I think the older we get to, we seem to be more grateful about that and appreciate it more.
100%. Yeah. I call that the real world.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's living in the now, in that moment. Yeah. Enjoying it for what it is. Yeah. Well, mate, part of the reason I wanted to get you on is that you never, ever said to yourself, I'm getting too old for this. I never, you never just accepted that, hang on, I'm going to go turn on Netflix and watch 12 hours of this. You never did that. But I think there's a lot of people that retire from life, or even you get to 40 and it goes, I'm now not 20 anymore. That never went through your brain. You never said, I'm too old for this shit. You just went hell for leather.
In fact, it's really good when you get older, you get away with a lot more things you can say. And I find it funny when a couple of my friends, they're in that sort of 40 bracket and we're climbing up a mountain and they go, I'm getting too old for this and that.
Yeah.
And then I let them talk it out and then I say, you realise how much you just insulted me? You know how old I am, right?
Yeah.
And they say, he's the dinosaur or whatever, like you're way off the Richter scale of old.
But it's okay for other people to say, and obviously it's a joking thing, but you never think that of yourself, do you?
No. Until, actually, there was somebody said to me a while ago, and I just cracked up laughing, that the decade between 60 and 70 is the most fierce and most rapid aging decade you will live in. And I just went, wow, gee, thanks for telling me that. I feel so good now. Yeah. I just laughed. I couldn't believe it. But in actual fact, I've experienced that. It's caught up on me a little bit. Yeah. But it doesn't deter me. It actually makes me want to go harder. But then something happened and it sort of knocked me around a bit. But now I'm feeling good.
We'll get to that in a little bit. But what's some of the crazy shit that you've done, mate, that you've actually accomplished and gone, I can't believe I've done that?
The first one that comes to mind is really cool. I had a friend, most of my friends know Bill Baker. When I met him, he was supposed to be a grumpy fellow, and we really gelled. And it's when he was in his home, I was his gardener. Yep. And then he had lots of paintings, and he told me he was a painter, and I thought, that's really pretty cool. But he sat around at home not doing much. And then when he discovered that I was going, Mount Barney was the one. And he said, you got photos? I said, yeah, lots of photos. And he just said, can you get that blown up into an A4 size? Yeah. I said, why? Do you want to paint it? He said, yeah. Yeah. Now, he hadn't painted for a long time before that. And I don't know how long, but a really long time before that, he'd stopped. And then he never stopped again. He said, I took my students out there and we used that area. Yeah. Incredible thing is, his ashes are on the top of Mount Barney, and I'm going to visit again for the first time in about a year on Saturday coming. So
right. Wow, that's cool, mate. And so that was the impetus for him to get this creative outlet in painting going. Yeah.
2 weeks before he passed away was his last painting he finished.
Wow, mate.
Yeah. Wow. And I've got a lot of them on my wall, so it's really great memories.
Right. Well, how about from a physical standpoint, mate? Like, what is something that you push yourself?
Oh, yeah, that's the reason I brought him up.
Okay, you're right.
When he turns 96, what do you get a 96-year-old for his birthday? I couldn't think of anything, and I wanted it to be meaningful. Yep. And he'd actually shared a lot of his life with me. And so what I did, I went to Brisbane Valley Rail Trail, and I walked 96 kilometres.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, as I was going through the different stages, when it got to 15 kilometres, this is when he built a caravan out of wood. He actually sold that, and then he bought a workshop. So I went through his life as I was walking. But the fascinating thing is, when I got back and told him what I did, he just sort of looked at me blank. Yeah. And about a week later, he said, you told me that you walked 96 kilometres from my birthday. I said, yeah. And he just laughed. That's what you just did. He just cracked up laughing and never said another word. So I hope he appreciated it.
Yeah. So hang on, where was the walk? 96 kilometres from where to where?
I went, what's half of 96? It's 45 and 48, yeah.
48, yeah.
I walked 48 kilometres that direction and then 48
came back
to the van. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It hurts a bit when you do that. But
what sort of pain thresholds did you go through?
See, that's what I really want to share is, and I was just telling someone a couple of days ago, I've noticed over the years of hiking that you might be like 5Ks into a 20K walk or whatever, and you think there's no way I'm going to make this because I'm hurting too much. Yep. But you just keep pushing ahead somehow. Just keep going.
There's always more in the tank.
Yeah. Oh, there is. Actually, there's a whole lot more in your tank than what you realise. It goes through different levels. Yep. But and then you'll be up to 10Ks and you think, hang on, hey, those things don't hurt anymore.
Yeah.
It's fascinating walking.
Yep.
You just got to keep on going. Your body's quite capable of doing a whole lot more than what your brain's trying to tell you.
Like, do you think through your life you've always been curious about pushing yourself just that little bit further?
Actually,
where are my limitations? Where do I actually just say, no, call the ambulance, I'm done?
Well, I had to make my way to school. I used to walk to school. My dad put together his old push bike. I used to ride to my first job. That was from Seven Hills to Capalaba and back every day. And then I was a telegram boy, and I rode all day at work and then rode home a push bike. So I guess when I think about it, I haven't really thought a lot about it. I really started off fairly physical. Oh, and at
So
school,
you've always been moving, always been active. Yeah.
I was actually at the Buranda school, 5, 6, and 7, the athletic champion of the school.
There you go. Okay. Well, you got.
Kind of forgot about it.
What was your specialty? What were your high jump? Track?
High jump, triple jump, broad jump,
Yep.
and sprinting. I was no good at long distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, where do you get this ridiculous amount of energy from? Like it's look, as I said, I think, you know, I'm at a stage now where I've got sustained levels of great energy. You're off the charts, mate. I've never seen anything like it, and it's like. And it's sort of like I remember being on a walk with you for, 8 hours or something, like, or up a cliff and up an Indiana Jones bloody ladder and off the tooth.
Yeah, gravel, man.
Yeah, you helped me up the tooth. And I'm like, we're up the top.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, how the hell am I going to get down from this thing?
Yeah.
Right. And but you actually showed me the foot, you know, to get up there. Yeah. Which was, you know, when you've got someone calm walking you through those things, because I know I'm not great at heights, but I also know that's a story I tell myself. So when I come to those things, I want to challenge myself to overcome them and do them. Look, I don't know if for some other people, but if I look over the edge, I feel like I get dizzy and I get a bit of vertigo, I feel, or like the perception goes out a bit. And so that's why I think I don't like going to stand on an edge of anything, you know? Yeah, because it just sort of feels
It's
a bit
not uncommon, It's a fairly common thing to feel that way,
But
that's why it's good to climb Tibragargan or Biwa at night first, because you don't see anything around you. All you see is this little patch. And then when you come down in the daytime, you go, wow, I wasn't scared at all, because you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
You couldn't see what you might be scared of.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Where did you learn all your climbing tech? Like, is it just years and years of doing it?
Yeah, it was just, I think I mentioned earlier that I don't call myself a climber, but I need to have some ability to climb to get to the places I want to go to.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I really like hiking. I like those unusual places and going off track.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you do much rope stuff?
No.
Okay. So
I did a bit of indoor stuff, and I find it boring.
Yeah.
I think I'm wasting my time here. I'd rather climb up real rocks and see plants and things.
Yeah. Now, mate, you have had some health battles the last couple of years, and it's heart related.
Yeah.
So we're taking it easy here in the sauna today, but you've been cleared.
Absolutely. Just a few days ago by the professor at the Gold Coast Hospital. He's a genius. I can never remember his name. I just call him the professor.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, how do you go from being the most active, crazy man, Bear Grylls, doing crazy stuff, to having a doctor say to you, you're going to have to take it easy and sit on the couch for, like, how long did you sit on the couch for? Or how long did you have to just pump the brakes?
I think I don't really take too much notice of time, but I think probably 6 months when I was in a really bad mental state. Yeah. Yeah, because my first was come out of Caboolture Hospital, because I was actually on a course just up the road, and my back hurt. It turned out one of my kidneys had no blood left. It really hurt.
Yeah.
And so I went in there, and they enticed me to stay there for 7 days. The last day, the fella said, right, okay, no beer, no climbing, no hiking, no strenuous activity. We'll try and keep your heart going as long as we can with medication.
But that's your life, though.
That was the end.
Yeah.
But you know what? I wasn't scared. I just thought, well, you know, I've been dished this up. I'll do it.
It is. Yeah.
I actually put a post on, and I told everybody that because I wanted to be clear. But I put, I'm still looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. And there was one.
Yep.
Yeah. So I went through a few other things up until then. Yeah.
What was the light at the end of the tunnel?
Okay, well, I went back, took all these pills, and feel horrible. And then I went to the GP one day. This was quite funny. And he said, how you feeling? I said, I just feel like crap, sitting around all day. A little bit dizzy when I go up and down. He said, go at the back, and the good nurse will do all your stuff, and you come back and we'll talk about it. And then I looked over, and she's gone to the phone, and she said, what, an ambulance now? And I thought, somebody in here needs an ambulance. And next minute, I said, this is not for me. She said, yes, it is. I said, I'm fine. I don't need an ambulance. She said, no, you're not. You're 35 heart rate or whatever.
So what, low blood pressure?
Heart. not pressure, heart rate.
Oh, right. Oh, shit. Okay.
Beating 35.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's pretty low.
Yeah.
But I've become accustomed to that as norm.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do anything. I was just sitting there.
Yeah.
So they took me off to Logan Hospital this time, and they realised that pills were too strong. So they halved that, and that got to normal.
Yeah.
But the next really big thing that happened was the first time I really had any indication that I had a major heart thing. I woke up in the middle of the night. My heart woke me up.
Yep.
And it's just going like as fast as, it must have been about 200.
Wow.
Because when the ambulance got there, I was 180. They put nitroglycerin under my tongue.
Yep.
Pardon me.
Grab
water,
some water, mate. Yeah. Yep.
And
but it was through the roof, and you're sleeping.
It woke me up, thank goodness, because I probably wouldn't have woken up. Anyway, they put nitroglycerin under Aspro, and I said, look, I don't want to go to the Logan Hospital again. It's definitely not Caboolture, obviously. We're taken to the Gold Coast Hospital.
Yeah, okay.
And that's when it all changed.
Right.
They are really, really highly skilled.
Yep.
And I just want to get this message across that there's doctors and there's doctors. And I've had this happen to me throughout my life in other situations. So it's a good idea to be, don't put all 100% in particular experts, get second opinions and so on, especially with your own health.
Gut as well. Use your gut feeling on. Yeah.
I've got more of that now.
But there is something to say about. Look, I'm the same sort of mindset that when I went through my thing, the drugs that the doctors gave me saved my life.
Yeah,
I had toxic shock syndrome, right? So, and they hit that on the head, but they weren't sure what it was. But it was just a really good educated guess because it's like I was the fittest I've ever been in my life.
Yeah,
and so those drugs kept me alive. But then when the aftermath, they wanted to put me on all these antibiotics, and I just stopped taking them because it was 3 days of feeling like shit. Then you'd level off and get accustomed to it, and then you come off them, and you'd do 3 days of feeling like shit to come off them.
Absolutely.
I'm like, I'm just going to do this naturally, and that's when I started the saunas and ice baths and all natural types of therapy. But the massive thing that was going to take me out, the drugs that the doctors gave me, saved my life.
That's a really good point you just raised, and I want to say this. As technology goes forward, there are some really incredible things that have made our lives longer.
Yes.
And got us out of situations. And I would never not take those things. But once the danger of actually dying or whatever is out of the way, I would absolutely want to go in the same direction that you went and let your body recover and heal itself.
Mate, I just think you got a natural pharmacy
totally.
throughout your body, and it's just actually, sitting in 23-degree comfort in a air-conditioned room or house for your whole life, you're not building any resilience. And I think that's one thing, is building that resilience and, building that immune system to be able to deal with situations like this. But mate, now that you've gone through that, you've got the clear bill of health for the heart, and you're in the clear. We didn't do the ice bath this morning because it's sitting about 1 degree. Even though you've got the clean bill of health, doing the hot cold therapy.
You haven't got a defib here. That's the point.
Yeah, we didn't get you to sign the waiver, mate.
No, that's it. Yeah, no time. I was talking too much.
But now you've gone through that, you've got back into the hiking and the trekking, and is it different now? Yeah.
I'm more measured. I'm there more for the pleasure than the challenge.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. My big, like I said, Mount Barney was the thing I was always aiming for. I was going to do it a little while ago. It didn't sort of turn out, but I reckon I'm okay for Mount Barney on Saturday. So
yeah, nice, mate.
But I'll be taking my time. I'm not going to do anything stupid.
Yeah.
I've done quite a few mountains lately, and
I think that's a big thing too. That the awareness to say, and I'm after what I've gone through, I'm very in tune with how my body's talking to me.
Yep.
And it's like, you do want to push and, get curious and go beyond what your capabilities are. But even jumping in the sauna, if your immune system's down, you can actually make yourself sick.
Yes.
Because it's fighting something. And sometimes you're at the back end of that sickness, and it can actually kick you out to feel healthy. So it's listening to your body. But if you're going down, like your immune's down, I can make myself crook. I've done it a couple of times because I've come in here to try and sweat it out.
Yeah.
But the body's like, fuck you. I'm trying to fight this, and you
put more pressure on your system.
You put me in a 90-degree bloody, hot box. Like I'm clocking off, you know? Yeah.
I actually did that yesterday. I was coming up out of Warri Circuit and the group got ahead of us. So I ran uphill for the first time in a long time.
Yep.
And I went as hard as I could just to measure myself. And then when I stopped, I thought, okay, I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to walk it off. And I did. And I'm really happy about that. So there's all these little milestones, even up to yesterday.
Yep.
With my recovery. So I'm pretty positive about things now.
I think the other thing too is with recovery, what I found is, and I don't know if you feel the same, but you'd sometimes take 2 steps forward, 4 steps back.
Yeah, that's happened to me.
You constantly, and then you just kept climbing, but it was like I remember I did 10 push-ups and I slept for 2 days after it. Like basically my muscles and everything was like it excreted all the goodness out of me just to keep me alive. So it was crazy. But and so you had to go through those things and go, okay, I can't quite do that yet. And there was just small little milestones that you had to take to get back to that full health. But
I'm in shock. I didn't know about this with you, by the way.
Oh, mate, look, it's probably something that happened about. Well, guys generally don't get it. It's I think women with tampons is. Toxic shock is generally so. When a guy comes in,
before, when
a guy comes in, it's like, well, this is strange. We don't know what's going on, but it is. If you what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You come out the other side, but there's an awareness around where to push and pull, and obviously you want to give that a good crack. But if you're in that state, you don't want to clock off either. Clock out. Now, speaking of that, the last sauna that you had.
Yes, it all started here.
Yeah, and
not here, but a sauna.
So you had what, a 45-minute sauna?
No, we went in and out. I'll tell you the story. Yeah. Freezing cold, magnesium pill there. We'd go winter, whatever. A really hot sauna with the door shut and everything. Like really hot until you just sweat and you go in. And most of the times when I finished that, I'd go back to my house, which was just over the fence, and I'd have a little bit of dizziness in the last few years. And my heart used to flutter all the time, and I was in denial. I thought I could bypass the genetic thing. But the last time I went to that sauna, I went back home and I just went into that sort of calm state. But it took 45 minutes for that to abate. And I actually sat down in the lounge and thought, I hope nobody that likes me finds me here. I felt like I'm exiting, That's how I felt. But like I said, I was calm about that. I'm not frightened of those things. Yeah.
But that's I'm curious about that because
glad to be here,
in that you actually thought you were clocking out.
Yeah, I thought this would be nice, peaceful. I love my lounge chair. My lounge recliner.
Has it got a recliner?
It goes right back.
Yeah,
I can live in that.
So you're just like, if I'm going to die, this is the place to do it.
Yeah, seriously. And I don't like to make too much light of it because, I mentioned Bill before. He was terrified of dying right up until the day he passed away.
Yeah.
And I'm not like that at all.
Yeah.
I have a strong faith and I think, my time's up. I just go with the flow.
Yeah.
I'm not really in control of everything. And if I get another day, another year, another 20 years, whatever it is, I'm really happy with whatever I get.
I'm intrigued by that, mate. Yeah. That's really cool because death can be a scary thing for most people, I think. And,
I'm not worried.
Yeah. And so just and maybe is this where your
faith?
Well, faith.
Maybe.
Hope, but also just the craziness in what you do. Like as I said, like when meeting you for the first time, I've never met so much energy being thrust at me. It was incredible and just like sustained. It's not like you have a bloody Red Bull and then you crash. And then you like, where's Alan? Oh, he's on the ground. No, it was like 8 to 10 hours of sustained energy. I've never seen energy
was that
levels.
During COVID? Because I was out a lot. I didn't work. Was it before COVID?
It was before COVID,
okay.
Pre-COVID, yeah.
Well, it really peaked in COVID. So much so that I got a text message from somebody. If anyone watches this, and they'll know who it is.
Yeah.
I got this text message with a list of the mountains that I've climbed in 2 weeks. And it was wrong.
Yeah.
Because Cordo, I did sunset as well.
Yeah.
Sunrise. So I corrected her and said, look, you missed one. I did that twice that day. And she was keeping a list of all of these different...
Okay, so talk me through. How many did you do
I
in
don't
2 weeks?
remember. I don't
But
really
it's
care.
like a lot.
Yeah, crazy amount. I was just doing it all the time, every day, and that helps with your fitness levels, obviously. The more you do it, the easier it becomes.
What about in one day? What's the most mountains you've climbed in a day?
You know, it was a Glasshouse Mountains competition thing, and once again, I don't sort of keep tabs.
No.
Yesterday at Warri Circuit, there's 2 people that are there measuring, you know, oh no, my whatever G thinks it's this, and somebody will know who I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
I just thought to myself, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, we're starting here and we're going to get there.
Yeah.
Who cares how far that is?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't really pay a lot of attention to it.
Because it just sounds like you've kept things quite simple as well. And
yeah, I did.
In a world where we're overthinking everything.
I like to close enough is good enough. That's my philosophy.
Yeah. You
get there in any way you can or whatever it is, you know, rough it up.
Do you feel in your brain you're saying, I don't care to a lot of things? Because Sari knows, like, I'll actually just tell her, I just don't care what you're talking about. Yeah. Because I'm kind of equating it to when I'm on my deathbed.
Yeah.
What we're talking about, does it actually matter? You know,
No.
Am I just losing 2 minutes of my life here with this conversation? And I obviously can't say that to everyone because you don't want to be rude, but and Sari gets it with me. It's like, I just don't care. I mean that in the nicest way because I want to spend quality time with people.
That's right.
You know, in the now.
It's great that you're so young and you've already got that because that's a real big stress relief, just saying, I don't care. In other words, you put it away. You might put it in the back of your mind in a filing cabinet you're not going to go to ever or not very often. But I think that's a really good way to live. The thing that I'm involved in now can be very draining and sometimes I have to walk away from it because you learn more and you think, oh no, you know, the way things are, it's dreadful.
Yep.
So you need to control that.
Okay.
Yeah, very much so.
So
maybe just say I don't care.
Yeah.
Very good.
Maybe it should be a thing. You know, just say the word pineapple or something. I don't know. Just that's the code for saying.
If somebody's in the pool bouncing up and down, going, "Help me!" You don't say, "I don't care."
No. They don't care about that. Yeah. It's the mate. So what's the future hold for Alan Keane? What are you looking forward to?
My future. I'm waiting for my 4-wheel drive version of Mail 300 to come.
There we go, mate. Yeah. This is another podcast. I'm gonna have to get you back on because
we'll talk
I'm
about
a mad Keane fan. No, but so you're getting a 4-wheel drive van.
Yeah.
You're dropping another engine in.
Yeah, that's happening now. He's doing that. Well, the engine will be in it, the new engine. Yeah, pretty, only 90,000. Mine's got 400,000. But the key here is it's 4-wheel drive, so I can go to places like I can go to the islands and stuff.
You're putting together a trailer as well.
My trailer is 7x5 beauty with a canopy and a cage, and that was my work trailer, but it was always designed to be converted to a camper. So I'm at this stage now. It seemed like a long way in the future, but here I am, and I'm ready to go.
Okay.
I'll fit that out with all the gear. Josh Ball's going to help me with that.
Who's that?
Josh Ball, mate.
Okay.
He got some bits and pieces, inverter and all that solar-powered stuff to help me out with.
Mate, there's a lot of study on that. I've got the inverter, the deep cycle battery, and all that sort of stuff.
You're going to fit out yours, aren't you?
Yeah, for sure. But I'm a bit jealous of the 4-wheel drive version because there is something about thinking, okay, I just want to go onto the sand, go to the Fraser or do the islands, and But is the plan though to do Australia?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I
can't wait to go to. Look, I spent 4 years in Roma in my territory with Telstra out there.
Yep.
That was my first posting. I volunteered to go out there because I didn't want to go to the city, my other option, where they all got drunk. So that on my own, and 1/3 of Queensland was my territory,
right,
all the way from Dalby right out to the border. So I travelled.
Roma's not a big town either.
It was back then.
Was it?
It was a big government hub.
Oh, was it?
I think there was like 60 staff just for Telstra alone back then.
Wow.
There was actually a petrol refinery there back then.
There you go.
I had a business there too. I had a landscape yard and a nursery there.
Yeah.
Landscape the middle school.
Yeah. Well, mate, we haven't touched on that too much, because it's like obviously you love the sunsets, the sunrises, the mountains, but you're massive on plants as well.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And I love when I'm walking and like you see something. When I see something the other day. Oh, at Springbrook. Josh said to me, I like looking up there, and I said, it looks like it's been designed by a human, but it's actually natural.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of inspiration for waterfalls and water features and plants, the way they look, rocks and so on, when I was doing some landscaping,
This is coming from a guy who wore a $700 suit.
Yeah, a nice gold pen. I've lost it temporarily, but it'll turn up again with my name on it.
That's great. Yeah. Well, mate, I think that's why we're connected in so many ways, because I just think you're salt of the earth, and you're just very, every time we catch up, we always have a fantastic conversation.
I have to say this. When I saw this fellow here, a tower of a man, on Anzac Day, carrying a fellow out of the bush, up a hill, with a broken leg. Not you with a broken leg. He had a broken leg.
Yeah.
I was in awe of you too, mate.
I appreciate that, mate.
A legend.
Luckily we did squats that week before. There was a lot of squatting going on.
Oh, goodness,
that was actually, because you come out of that and you're like, fuck, I can do more than I put my mind to. So
totally.
It was that was because we'd look at a tree 30 meters ahead and go, okay, that's our next goal. And we just kept tree, and then he'd grab onto the tree and slide down.
I have to find that photo. I'm going to put it on Facebook again.
There must be a couple of photos, because Tim was there, and there's a couple others. And so
it's probably on my Facebook that got lost because I lied about. I didn't want the birthday thing, so I kept moving it. And eventually I said, "You're off now."
What does Alan have 7 birthdays a year?
You know what, mate? The challenge is for the universe for that to pop up, because that's what's happening. Photos are coming up, memories from my old Facebook thing. Google. So that's for that,
mate. I'm very appreciative of you coming and joining us for a sauna sesh, and mate, love you bits and everything that you do, and I'm just so glad that you can share your stories with people, because I know, and this is for anyone out there, like, don't feel like you're over the hill or it's too late. Like if you're in that rut of sitting down watching 12 hours of bloody Netflix or whatever, movement is the key, isn't it?
Totally.
Yeah.
And keep pushing the barriers. Thanks, mate.
Thank you so much.
Love you too, brother.
Guys, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment and share with your mates, and we'll see you for the next one.